Hey everybody, Mark Shepard here, the Singing Hypnotist I just wanted to share as I explore this new series called the Hypnosis of Money. I wanted to just kind of share with you what my daily process is. Right now it's about noon, and I kind of do this when I first wake up, and I do it, when I have a cup of coffee, when I'm taking a break, kind of throughout the day. I will just kind of come to the goldprice.org charts because I really like them. I've seen some other charts. These really work nicely. And so part of my practice, this is Bitcoin. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. See if I can make it a little bigger. And I really like these candles. They're just really simple. But what's really cool is this is the daily, right? So this is today so far. So the red means it's going down. The green means it's going up. If you're a newbie, if you're not, obviously you know this. And it's kind of fun to look at 1 hour. This is what's going on hour by hour with Bitcoin. This is what's going on every 30 minutes. So you can kind of see where things are moving. So before I buy, I usually kind of, when I'm disciplined, I go through all of these. Like, here's the 1 minute, right? So Bitcoin was up at 2,700 not too long ago, not too many minutes ago, right? So let me just see if I can move this chart a little bit. So yeah, so in the last, let's see, we have 1120 here. We have, that's 1120. What's this? 1122. So this is literally minute by minute. So you can see it's going down, and now we have a little recovery, right? So you can, if you wanted to, like you could actually every day buy a little bit when it's down, right? You don't know if it's going to go down further, but by just checking it and becoming aware of kind of the mood of the market. Let me just squeeze this, make it a little smaller. So, you can kind of look, you want to buy low, sell high, right? So it's so simple, but it requires some discipline and not being all emotional and not expecting that any one trade is going to make you $1 million. It's like step by step, and this is where the music comes in. It's like practicing the guitar. You don't pick up the guitar the first day and become a concert master guitar genius, right? You have to practice. You pick it up every day. You go through where your fingers are bleeding, from the strings, because you have to have investment in it, right? And that's why this is so exciting for us humans. There's something in our brain that loves this stuff. So right now, I would be looking at this and I'm going, if I bought $100 worth of Bitcoin here, it's kind of down and it kind of looks like, it might want to go back up. I'm not gonna today because I'm just gonna wait and see what the shakeout is, because here on the 30-minute chart, you can see there's support here. See the support? That's where the support is. And it doesn't really want to go below that. But it's tested it, right? It really dropped and then kind of came right back up. So if you think of this as kind of like a trampoline, it's going down and it's coming up. It's going down, it's coming up. It's going down, it's coming up. And that's actually a trader's best friend. A trader wants volatility, because you can, and the beauty of this market is you can go to Coinbase and you can buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. And that's what I was doing every day. In fact, you know what? I think it's worth $20 to see what will happen. So I'm going to go to Coinbase. Let me just do my 1 hour. Yeah, see, it's got support. It has support here. you can see where it's been testing, but it just pops right back up. So when you find multiple levels of support on the bottom here, to me, that's like, yeah, let's put a little more money in there, right? And the beauty of Bitcoin is whether it goes up or down or whatever, it is here to stay. Whether they split it or whatever, it's here to stay for the moment. I don't know where it'll be in a year, but right now, it's the biggest game in town. It's the world's largest supercomputer. There are a lot of people who have a lot of vested interest in Bitcoin, not only retaining its value, but doing well. And that's the beauty of this community thing called cryptocurrency, this decentralized process of creating a way to store, exchange, and grow your value, the energy that you have transformed into the form of money, right? Because you can't trade a song on this. You can't trade a painting on this. However, you can move your creative process into levels of value where other people actually would give you money in exchange, right? So this is the great hypnosis right here. What is the value of all of it? There's no real value here. This is all what we decide it is, right? So if you're going to invest, if you're going to kind of follow along for a little while. I'm going to try to do this almost every day, and I'm going to share with you some of the stuff I'm working on, and this is my process. And if it's interesting to you, keep watching. Make sure you subscribe, blah, 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 all that stuff. Okay. So we are kind of at our next little spot here. I'm going to go back to the daily. And, we are here. I did a video yesterday about the triple top. And we are still in this triple top, and I still think it's about to pop. And so buying at 26, not bad. I'm going to go to Coinbase right now, see if I can buy some Bitcoin. I think they had shut down for a little bit, but we'll see. And they have charts here as well. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart. There's their 1 hour chart. So you can see by their chart, it looks like it's actually trading higher on interesting. So it's $2,700 over on Coinbase. That's interesting. And so we have the 1 day, and we have the 1 week. So you can see we over here on Coinbase, we made a new high, or we touched the highest of the highs, right? So when I see this thing wanting to pop, and that's when you want to buy. You want to buy when it's down, but seems, and nobody knows for sure, right? Because that's what's so beautiful about it. You don't know. It's so much more interesting than watching a Hollywood movie because you don't know the end of this, right? And that's why I highly suggest tithing to yourself, $20 every day. And the beauty of Coinbase is it's great for newbies. You don't want to keep your money there forever. You want to move it off to a private wallet. But to get started, just get in and buy $20 of Bitcoin, buy $20 of Ethereum, buy $20 of LiteCoin, and see if you can start watching the charts and timing it. Here's the 1 month chart. Here's the 1 year chart. We are close to tops here. This is not a sign that it wants to go down. This is strength, right? Look at the recoveries here. And these things don't go up without coming back down. It's a trampoline. There are corrections. But this little double top, this thing tells me it wants to go up here. Now, whether it will stay up there, it may go up and everybody get all excited and jump in. And then the professionals, the traders, will start selling, right? And hopefully you and I can do that as well. And then we can take our Bitcoin or our profits and move it into something else, right? And so I'm going to go buy a little bit. Oh, okay. I don't know what this is. I may have to, let's see if I may have to re-log in here. Or they may still be stopping. They may still not be allowing you to buy Bitcoin. So, so I'm going to go to the dashboard. Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash is not going to be supported by Coinbase, and we'll see. We'll see. That's a whole other story. And if you're a newbie, hopefully you're a newbie if you're watching this, because this is really not for the grizzled, experienced people. This is me showing you what I've done in the last 6 months and how I'm doing it and why I'm doing what I'm doing. All right, so let's see if I can buy some Bitcoin today. I'm going to buy 20 bucks. And, you know, there's a $1.49 charge, but ultimately, that's worth it. Look, they let me buy 20 bucks. Boom, no big deal. Boom. And now, in order to see it, I took some profits in Bitcoin last week, and I moved most of my coinage off to my Exodus wallet. All right. So I have very little bit of Bitcoin, $81 worth. No big deal. If the whole thing disappears, whatever. I got a little bit of Ethereum. I got a little bit more LiteCoin because I've been watching them. And when Bitcoin wasn't really trading on Coinbase, I started playing with these others because you want to have more than one thing going. You want to see how they kind of work together, and you want to watch some different charts. Now, Ethereum made a huge top back in May, hit 400, or close to it, and right now it's trading at just a little below 200. I started buying some over here. I may have bought some here, but I'm not so sure about Ethereum today. I want to go look at some of the other charts. But look at LiteCoin. This is about as beautiful a steady, straight uphill as you can get in any financial chart, right? And it's kind of dipped here. And again, if you draw a line, and I'll go do that over on the other chart. If you draw a line between these, you're going to see that this thing wants to go up. Look at this is people buying. This is people holding. This is value coming into the marketplace. And it may crash at some point, but that's the beauty of all of this, is you don't know what's going to happen. And if you take money that you would normally piss away, like my thing was 20 bucks a day, because I felt like, you know, I'd go to a dance class and I'd pay my friend Leslie at Ecstatic Dance 20 bucks, even though she only charged 15, because I thought it was worth 20 bucks. Or I'd go to a concert, or I'd download some porn or a video or something. You know, there's so many things we waste money on every day. And so I started looking in my life for where I could stop wasting money and take little bits of money and actually see if I can make it grow. And I will get more into that because I'm exploring some of these other things, these investment trading, lending things, and I'll get into that in another video, where you can take $100 and you can, through compounding interest, you can turn that $100 into a hell of a lot more in 30, 90, 100 days, 200 days, whatever. And they all may be Ponzi schemes. However, if you get in at the beginning and you get in with $100 and then just reinvest everything, what do you really have to lose, right? And at a certain point, you start taking out profits before the thing falls apart, right? This is such a volatile, ever-changing market that you can't just sit on your laurels, and count on things. So LiteCoin, it's up 1,000% since last year, right? And that's the beauty of this. You need something that's gonna increase in value because our dollars don't. You can't get any kind of interest at a bank, right? Your money, and everything has risk. Everything. You buy money, you do something in the stock market, and all the experts are saying right now, the alternative experts, not the ones that work for the central bank, but all the experts are saying, hey, we have so many bubbles. We have a real estate bubble, we got a bonds bubble, we got a stock bubble. We got all kinds of bubble, and all of the powers that be are saying, oh, yeah, we have prosperity, good times. Janet Yellen is saying, oh, we're never going to see another crash. That's the first thing. That's like the key. That's the indicator. Shit's going to happen. This year is going to be really interesting. And the whole purpose of this whole process for me as a musician is, I don't have a day job. I don't have steady income. I'm looking to find ways to kind of hedge my income, to take what little I make and turn it into more so that I can A, support myself, and B, record my music. And I want, I work with some amazing musicians and I have to pay them. I work at a recording studio. They have to pay their bills. They have to pay their electric bill, right? Money makes this thing happen. So this whole process that I'm working with is how to change your thoughts, the hypnosis you have in your own mind around money, so that you can actually get into some of these markets in a controlled, safe for you, comfortable way. I am not a financial advisor, blah, blah, blah. You are totally on your own. I'm on my own. I've looked at what other people are doing, and I'm like, wow, I can do that too. And I'm willing to take the risk if it all falls apart. Because I've lost my shit so many times in the last 30 years. I bought real estate at the top of the market in the 1980s, and I lost everything. So I understand what a real estate bubble is. I was in the real estate business, in the title insurance industry. And I sold my title insurance agency and took $50,000 from that sale, and I traded futures commodities. And let me tell you, this is a hell of a lot easier. And I taught myself how to trade futures commodities, but I didn't have enough capital to actually support my family, and I ended up becoming a kid musician, right? And then I did that, and then that kind of fell apart at some point. I was basically homeless during the crash of 2007, 2008, 2009. It was a tough time. The first thing that goes is like music and arts in schools. I do a lot of school programs with my music and my storytelling. And it's always been frustrating. And as an introvert, I really like having large amounts of solitude. And so watching these markets, to me, is really entertaining. And hopefully it is for you. I want to see what LiteCoin's doing here. I think I'm going to buy a little bit more LiteCoin. And so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to buy some LiteCoin. And LiteCoin, we don't know. Again, we do not know. So, but I'm feeling a little bit more like LiteCoin it's a good buy spot. It has legs. It wants to climb. So I'm going to buy some LiteCoin. Boom, $50. So I just spent money that I would have spent if I went out to dinner, right? And I'm not going out to dinner tonight. I might fast. Take the money you would normally spend on food one day a week and take that money and start putting it in to some of these cyber currencies, cryptocurrencies, decentralized currencies, whatever you want to call them. Ethereum, I'm just not sure about. I want to go look at the chart. But see, I do this. I buy only once a day. I make a buying decision once a day, and some days I don't buy. And for me, there's a cool thing at, let me go back to Coinbase, a cool thing at Coinbase where when you buy, let me just show you this, you can repeat this buy. You just click here, boom, do daily, weekly, or whatever. That was fine because as Bitcoin went up, I would buy less. As it went down, I would buy more. It's called dollar cost averaging. And if you don't trust yourself to make good decisions, just do some small amount every day or once a week. I think the every day you're going to get a better return because it goes up and down. And chances of you buying it when it's down are better if you buy it every day. It all depends on your strategy. I have kind of short, medium, and long-term strategies, and I'll talk about that in future videos. But this is what I'm doing. Okay, so I was going to go check the charts for Ethereum. Go over here, and here's Ethereum. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of other cryptocurrencies. I only trade the ones that I've done some research on. So again, that's your thing. And my internet's muted. My internet, for some reason, my laptop doesn't like it. Okay, so here we have Ethereum. Let's Whoops, there we go. I'm a little herky jerk. Here we have Ethereum. And if you were to draw a line on these bottoms, didn't quite do it right, but it's all approximate. Let me move this one up a little bit. Down here. You know, and again, this is, the trend is your friend, right? You want volatility. You want days where it just cranks. You want these crazy run-ups. But then you have to have the courage to find a place where you've had enough, right? Where you've made enough money, or you just hold for the long term, right? Some people just do that. But this stuff is changing so fast. I don't know if long term really makes sense here. I don't know if this is long term, other than we know long term, this is where the future is going, and it's going to be big. So Ethereum really had a correction, and it came back down to a steady line. So I wouldn't buy here because we're having an up day. But the next time Ethereum may come down and touch this line, I might buy a little more. Because once this whole Bitcoin hard fork shit is over, I think stuff is going to kind of get back to its groove, right? And Ethereum has tremendous practical applications at the moment. It also has some problems, you know, and all of these have problems in the scaling and the congestion and the time it takes and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm not going to buy Ethereum right now because it's up. Buy low, sell high, right? Now, you could buy here and it could go way up here again, but you just can't second guess yourself all the time. You've got to just look at what the charts are doing. And again, this is where a spiritual practice comes in. You don't want to project what you want it to do. You want to get in the present moment and go, what is it doing? What is the market telling me? And to get your own self-hypnosis lined up so that you are looking at what the market is actually doing, not what you want it to do, not your wishful thinking. We all want to make $1 million. We all want to get paid just for living, you know, so that we can do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. That's called freedom. But you got to put in the time. I have been obsessively and compulsively learning about this space since February or March, where I dove deep into it and really worked on a lot of my own limiting beliefs about money. And I may have mentioned this course that I recently created called Beyond Beliefs, and it's essentially how to use hypnosis and NLP to absolutely get rid of your limiting beliefs and install beliefs into your conscious and unconscious mind that actually get you where you want to go. And one of the beliefs I had was that I'm no good with money, right? And the bottom line is I'm actually doing pretty well here because I changed that belief. But then you have to build skills. You can change the belief, but then you have to build skills. So this is me every day doing my practice. And I don't always make money, but I've been pretty damn good at it since I started. And, you know, it was my bitter failures in the past with the real estate markets in the 80s and the stuff that happened in the 90s. There was stuff in the 70s that I saw, you know, as I was kind of in high school and stuff. And there was oil embargoes. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen in the world that can affect people's perception of value and how they think. And the thing is, they're all reactive. They're reacting. You and I want to be wiser than that. We want to, when the crowd is running, we want to go the other way where it makes sense. And sometimes the crowd's smart. Sometimes the crowd is running from zombies, you know, in Apocalypse Z. Sometimes the crowd knows what the fuck they're doing. However, in finances, you want to be able to tune into what the crowd is thinking and then be a step ahead of them if possible. And that's a learning curve, all right? So enough of that. But this is what I want to share, this philosophy as well as the practical tips. And so this video is long enough. I'm going to stop it. But you've watched me buy a couple of different things, and I will keep you posted on how I do with those. Okay, so that's enough for this video, and stop the record.